The Lake District, a place celebrated for its captivating landscapes and tranquil waters. But beyond the popular tourist spots such as Scafell Pike, there is a world of hidden beauties waiting to be discovered, and that's what we're going to do today. Come with us as we embark on a journey off the beaten track, diving deep into the heart of this stunning region to unveil some of its best kept secrets. From waterfalls hidden in the mountains you can swim in, to some of the best places you can eat at, and of course supporting local farmers at the same time. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Our first stop on the Lake District tour was the Wasdale Head-In. After driving for almost 8 hours, we finally made it to our pit stop for the night. This is perfect for those wanting to hike Scafell Pike and treat yourself after for a nice rewarding pint. However, this was right next to our first hidden gem on our list, so it made sense to stay here. The room was all we needed too. It was very basic, but we were here for about 10 hours in total, so we didn't really need that much. A bed, a nice little garden bit for the dog, and that's all we needed. I was gasping for a pint, and if you're into your ales, this place is right up your street. However, I'm more of a Guinness and San Miguel type of man, so the choice was very limited. I did opt for this Japanese beer, which is actually pretty decent to be fair, and with the view, I couldn't really complain. Next up was the food. I went for the pie of the day, which was steak and ale pie, and the missus went for a vegetarian pasta type dish with a bit of garlic bread. Now, whilst up north, I thought it would be criminal if I didn't put gravy on my chips, but I'm so pleased I did, as it tasted absolutely banging. We also got the pork and black pudding scotch egg, which was absolutely unreal. It tasted so good, and I definitely recommend getting it if you're ever there. We then enjoyed our last drink of the evening, surrounded by the gorgeous mountains that you can't really see too much, ready for the early start in the morning. Now what's really cool about this hotel is the entrance has all the gear worn by the local mountain rescue and a check-in book that the guests can use to note down the mountain they climbed as well as the time it took them, which I thought was pretty unique to be fair. So day one of the Lake District vlog, heading off to our first hidden gem at about 6 AM, heading to Wasdale Emerald Pool, one of my favourite gems in Lake District for sure. It those amazing views. So come on the journey and let's get exploring. So you'd have to excuse the bags under my eyes. It was 6 AM, but nevertheless, let's get into it. So we headed to our first hidden gem of the day, which was the Wasdale Emerald Pool. And from the Wasdale Head-In, it's about a 40 to 45 minute walk, so it's not too bad. The path itself is more like a country lane rather than a walking track, but you're surrounded by some of England's tallest mountains, so the views are absolutely out of this world. So I'd be really going against what the Hidden Gems app stands for if I just sat here and told you a step-by-step guide and directions on how to get here. But if you can't get the app for whatever reasons, why don't you just park at Scafell Pike car park where everyone else does, and rather than going right to go to the mountain, you go left through country lanes and past a B&B, and just keep heading straight for about 40 minutes, and then you come to 2 lanes, go right, and bosh, here you go. So here's the first little pool we found, absolutely breathtaking, and then we found a big boy. And boy, was it worth the trek. So we finally made it. The Emerald, where is it? Emerald. That is some hike. All the way down there, but look at it. That's breathtaking. So there we have it, the Wasdale Emerald Pool. It's chucking down with rain here. For the last 100 metres to the pool got really rocky and the rain didn't help, so I definitely recommend taking care when visiting, but I'll shut up now and let you listen to the soothing sounds of the water. Hope you enjoy. After a 40-minute hike back, we then jumped in the car and headed to the Coniston Coppermines Waterfalls. The walk to the main falls is about 30 to 35 minutes, and it's worth noting that you can't drive straight in and park up, so we recommend parking in the Coniston village in one of the free lay-bys. Now, this gem is also on our app, so I'm not going to give you a step-by-step walking guide, however, it is fairly simple to reach. So on the walk you'll see many waterfalls below, however these aren't the ones you want to go and see, but you've got time to kill on the way back, why not head down and go and see them. So once you've reached the top you'll see this main straight lane which is on the way to the main waterfall. It's an excellent path for most of the hike, and you'll also see the abandoned Maya ruins which also have information boards that you can read. So once you get to the top of this lane you'll see the Coppermines cottage as well as the youth hostel, and from there it's probably about a 5 to 10 minute walk to the main waterfalls. Once you cross the bridge you'll see a small narrow path that goes uphill. That's generally pretty easy. It does have a few muddy patches, but this was after it rained quite badly, so I imagine during wetter times it could be worse. So we forgot to press record as we were making our way up to the top of the waterfall. As you can see it does look nice, but there are no swimming pools to jump in unfortunately. However, it is only a couple of hundred metres from the main pools up to the top of the waterfall, so if you're up for it, why not take the hike up, and you'll see some great views too. Now without further ado, let's go see the main waterfall that you've all been waiting for. And there you have it, there is a Coniston Coppermines waterfall. Now getting down to it, I don't know how people do it, so good luck if you do, but please take extra care if you attempt it. And I know you want that photo for the gram, but some things just aren't worth it. There are smaller pools which are easier to access at the start of the falls near the bridge that are worth having a plunge in, so it's not a wasted journey if you can't get down to the main pool.
After a long day of exploring, our first stop was the Black Bull pub in Coniston. This was lovely and the weather was perfect, so we sat outside. We both sampled a pint of the local beer as it's right next to the Coniston brewery, and these were delicious. We then went for a cheese and ham toastie and a bacon and brie toastie with a tomato soup to share, and these were absolutely delicious. Next stop was the Coniston Food House, which is a family-run sandwich shop which did the best sausage rolls and pies, and also some doggy ice cream.
On the way back to the lodge, we stopped off at Skelwith Falls and parked at Chester's by the river, which is a lovely little local cafe. We didn't eat in there, but the food definitely looked lovely. Now being one of the more smaller waterfalls in the lakes, I'd say this waterfall is probably one of the easiest to reach. And as the sign says, the water can be very fast flowing, and if it's slippery, you've got to take extra care. So without further ado, here's a video of the waterfall. After a busy day of exploring waterfalls, we headed into Windermere to try and find some local hidden gem places to eat and drink at, and we weren't disappointed. So introducing our first stop of the evening, which was the Crafty Bar, which is known to be the smallest pub in the whole of the Lake District, so of course we had to try this little gem. From the outside it doesn't look much, but once you step inside it's like a whole different world. Quirky doesn't do it justice, and you can't beat a place that is just a little bit different from the normal. They had a great selection of beers, and when I say a selection, I mean they must have had about 18 different ales and beers to try. We opted for the Crafty Bar Lager, which was so refreshing and came in a cool looking glass too, which is actually stored in the fridge before serving. Introducing the food. Now if you love piggy bits like us, you'll absolutely love this place. So we had the pork pie and the Scotch egg, which is served with wasabi and mango mayo, on the side of a baked garlic and herb sourdough. Now let me tell you, the mayo was absolutely lovely. And then we all shared the combo sharing slate, which is 3 cheeses of the day and 3 meats of the day, served with a choice of one of their camemberts, and we went for their bacon with grapes, herbs and sweet tomato chutney camembert, and judging by the empty plates, it's safe to say we all enjoyed that. Afterwards we headed down to Lake Garden View, which is a really cool looking bar overlooking Lake Windermere, for a few cocktails to finish off the night, and they also had live music playing, which was a bonus. And it's safe to say everyone enjoyed it and you got everyone dancing, so what more could you want? After many hours of cocktail drinking, it was on to the shots, and then it was game over. Sunday morning, and it's safe to say there were a few sore heads this morning, but nonetheless, we jumped in the car and headed straight to Grasmere. We found this cute little place called Heidi's Cafe, and we made it just in time for breakfast too, which served one of the best fry-ups I've ever had. On Sunday's itinerary, we plan to head up to Sour Milk Gill, which is a very cool little waterfall that is perfect for a bit of wild swimming. The walk to the waterfall from Grasmere village should take you about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how fast you walk. The walk to the waterfall isn't too bad, the path is quite flat like it is in the video, a bit rocky but it's doable. The last 25 minutes can get very steep, so be careful. After our 40-minute hike down back to Grasmere village, we headed straight to Mathilde's cafe, which is a quirky little cafe with a Scandinavian twist. We then went for their tart of the day, which I believe was feta and spinach, and then their famous Mathilde's hot dog, which is on a brioche bun with crispy onions, pickled cucumber, and sweet Finnish mustard, which was out of this world. We then went into Rydal to go and find a hidden wild swimming spot. And no, it's not this one, as A, you can't swim in this actual waterfall, and B, this little grot here that you see, famous for its waterfall window shot, is actually a well-known tourist attraction, and that's not what we're here for. Instead, it was this little hidden beauty of a swim spot, which was Baltic but so refreshing. There's also a few more waterfalls which you can swim in further up the trail, but as you can see, a scramble is required to get down to it, so please take care if you attempt it. We then headed to Buckstones Jump, which isn't too far from the Rydal swim spots. However, slightly off topic, I couldn't believe how filthy this place was. It's not that hard, guys, take your litter with you. Now back to the route. Buckstones Jump has risen to fame over the last few years, but we're still so surprised at how quiet it was, especially for a bank holiday. On the path, some bits were muddy, but most of it was really badly waterlogged, and it was impossible to keep our boots dry here, but at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do to get to Hidden Gem right. You'll arrive at a little pebbly beach in front of a small but spectacular waterfall pool. It's fully exposed to the sun, so on a clear day the water is crystal clear and perfect for a little dip. There's also a various number of other plunge pools scattered around, so take your pick. After we finally made it back to the car, we headed straight into Ambleside as that was on the way home to go find a nice little tapas bar. We then passed this cool looking house which I think used to be an Apple store, and they built it like this to avoid paying tax, which sounds about right to be honest. Nonetheless, if you enjoy cute little villages like Ambleside, you definitely need to head here. I only wish we had longer here. So the place we were meant to head to was shut due to stock issues, so we were walking along and found this cute little place, very hidden down an alleyway which you would never expect to serve this sort of food. It was absolutely breathtaking. This place is called Bar Es Ambleside, and they give you a menu to tick off things that you want. We basically ticked off about 8 to 10 items as you can clearly see, but all of this was spot on. We'll definitely be heading here again. So if you're into your tapas, your little picky bits, this place should definitely be on your bucket list. Now I know what you're thinking, how are these guys eating fish and chips after eating a 10-course tapas meal? Well, after all the hidden gem burning, it was only right to try some local fish and chips. It's a family run place, it is absolutely delicious, but we took the food and went straight back to our lodge to go and eat it, so our legs were knackered. there you have it. That is the end of our Lake District vlog. Now, this is my first time doing this, so please be gentle in the comments and let me know if this sort of stuff is appealing and you want some more of this sort of content. I'm really up for exploring more hidden local places, so if you've got more suggestions of what we can visit in terms of towns and whatnot, leave them in the comments and I'll see you guys soon. If you didn't know already, we have a UK Hidden Gems app available on mobile. It is currently on iOS, and as I'm speaking, Android is being developed, but by the time this probably starts to get more views, Android will be released. The app features over 1,600 hidden gems scattered across the UK, many categorised such as waterfalls, wild swimming spots, beaches, caves, you name it. There are also child and disabled friendly hidden gems too. If you like the look of a hidden gem, you can add it to your bucket list to save it for a future road trip, and once you've been there, you can tick it off by adding it to your visited list. And once you tick off a certain number of hidden gems such as waterfalls, beaches, you can earn badges that are ranked bronze, silver, gold and platinum. Each month we also release 5 new hidden gems to our members exclusively, meaning they'll be the first to know about these exclusive hidden gems before our social media followers. So what are you waiting for? Get downloading, get exploring, and remember, leave no trace.